From the OUTV Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, California, this is Brief News Brief, a brief look at today's trending news topics. Proudly combating the thought police since 2016, here's your host, James Heaney.
I'm James Heaney, and this is your Brief News Briefing. The White House announced today that President Trump would be holding a second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in late February. Now, this is happening as the two sides are trying to jumpstart nuclear talks that have been bogged down and slowed since their first historic meeting last year. This announcement came after there was a 90-minute Oval Office meeting with Kim Yong-chol. Kim Yong-chol is a former spy chief who served as Pyongyang's lead negotiator. The place of the meeting is still to be announced. It's going to be announced at a later date, but I heard some rumors. Now, don't quote me on it. There's some speculation that this meeting's going to happen in Vietnam. Now, before sitting down with Trump, Kim Yong-chol met with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to reinvigorate the negotiations that have been stalled out for months. It's kind of like your lawnmower. You haven't been using it during the winter because there's snow on the ground, right? And if you are, you're cray, totes cray even. So you got to use that little like choke thing. It's like a rubber thing. It gets the gas moving and everything. It doesn't matter. The negotiations had to get reinvigorated because they had stalled out over months. And the reason they first stalled out was because the U.S. is demanding that North Korea provide a detailed inventory of its nuclear and missile programs. Because if we don't have any details, then how can we have faith that they're just fixing the problem? Give us some details. Get specific. Now, a second summit could divert attention from Trump's growing political problems that are rapidly expanding here at home. Of course, he wants to talk about how he is helping save the North Korean people from possible nuclear destruction. I don't know if I can go that far, but getting rid of nuclear weapons in North Korea, everyone can agree is good. And that's a way better story in the news than talking about how perhaps it seems allegedly that during the campaign he paid tech companies to bloat up his polling data. Oh, that's embarrassing. Now, Trump has been really upbeat about the second round of face-to-face negotiations with Kim, and he's touting that he's been getting personal letters from Kim. And it sounds like from the description of these letters, they're more than just pen pals. They like each other. And having a good relationship with the Korean leader, I mean, that's progress, right? It's progress despite the fact that we have a lack of measurable steps towards disarmament. Now, Kim Jong-un said in a New Year's Day speech that North Korea might be forced to follow a new path if the United States maintains sanctions and demands unilateral action from Pyongyang. But Kim also said that there's improvements in the relationship, and those improvements could accelerate if the United States takes corresponding actions. What do you want from us? We just want some information, Kim. Today, Democrats in Congress vowed to aggressively investigate a new report that President Trump personally directed his former attorney, Michael Cohen, to lie to Congress. Now, BuzzFeed reported this late last night, that when Cohen went to testify in Congress in 2017, he was specifically asked to lie by the president about the timeline of the Trump Tower Moscow deal. And if you're not familiar, Moscow's in Russia, so it's a Russia deal. This would be a form of obstruction of justice, insisting that someone else commit perjury on your behalf while you are being investigated. That's basically what Richard Nixon did and then was forced to resign the presidency for doing so. Now, directing a subordinate to lie to Congress is a federal crime. Representative Adam Schiff, Democrat from California, woohoo! And chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, also said that his panel would do what's necessary to find out if it's true that Trump had directed Cohen, a longtime loyalist and fixer, to lie to Congress about plans for a massive Trump Tower in Moscow. The BuzzFeed report cited two unnamed federal law officials who say that Cohen acknowledged in interviews with the Office of Special Counsel Robert Mueller that the president directed him to deceive Congress about key facts linking Trump to the proposed deal in Russia. Cohen pled guilty to lying in November under oath about those details. Now, several Democrats inside and outside of Congress have raised the specter of impeachment if this story is proven true. The government is still shut down, and 800,000 federal workers are either at home not working or working with no pay. I don't know which one's worse, and there's no end in sight. Meanwhile, there's a storm, a literal storm. Well, I don't know if we can call it literal. Let's just say there's a storm brewing deep inside of the Earth's core, and it's known as a geological gust. And it was enough to send the Earth's magnetic North Pole skittering across the globe. I didn't even know that was possible. That's a lie. I knew that the pole had changed in the past, but I thought it was a slow-moving thing that always was accounted for. Unfortunately, due to the shutdown, scientists have been unable to post an emergency update of the World Magnetic Model, which cell phone GPS systems and military navigators, they both use these to orientate themselves. So as long as the NOAA staff are absent and the agency's website is dormant, the world must go on navigating by the old model, which grows slightly more inaccurate each day as this North Pole it's shifting. Meanwhile, aside from this Twilight Zone thing, in Washington, the heat between Nancy and Trump boils on. Yesterday, Nancy was forced to abandon her plans to travel to war-torn Afghanistan to visit troops after Trump outed her travel plans and forbid her from travel on U.S. military aircraft as long as the government was shut down. This move by Trump was probably just a burn for the State of the Union snub that Nancy gave him, and Nancy Pelosi is quoted as saying that she doesn't think Trump would be that petty. Well, you didn't think he would be that petty? Then I didn't think you'd be that naive, Nancy. She also made the allegation that the commander-in-chief, with the authority over security preparations, had imperiled the safety of lawmakers and troops when he disclosed the confidential plans. Also, this week, we saw the deadliest attack on American forces in Syria, led by ISIS, while the Trump administration simultaneously declared mission accomplished. Some have argued that the jump to call ISIS defeated and pull out of Syria has newly motivated the terrorist organization and sent them on a mission to murder U.S. personnel in order to create new momentum. Meanwhile, there are growing signs the sustained shutdown is having a negative impact not only on the unpaid workers, but the whole damn economy as well. There has been virtually zero bona fide negotiating underway on a solution to the deadlock. The handful of lawmakers present in the Capitol today, most of them having left town for the weekend or longer. They expressed exasperation over the whole affair. Happy 4-day weekend, Washington, D.C. Let's see if you can fix this broken government next week. Can we? Can we please, once you've got your vacation?